Namaste, good evening. So, uh, so welcome to yet another week of the Ask Me Anything session, which happens every Tuesday at 9 p.m. IST. And this is happening on my YouTube channel. The link is in my Instagram bio and even in the YouTube. Okay. So every week I speak for about 5-10 minutes about a topic, and then it is open to questions. People ask questions, and then I try to answer those. Okay, so shall we start? Today we are there with another topic, which is a slightly controversial topic, because about it's about yogurt or curd. The way Ayurveda looks at curd is entirely different the way the modern nutritionists look at curd. Okay, so it might be slightly controversial, but it's something which is interesting for us to go through. So shall we start today? So ask me anything weekly sessions every Tuesday at 9 p.m. IST. Okay, it's a live session. Okay, curd and its properties, curd or yogurt and its properties, and how to apply it, and what are the what do you call contraindications of curd. And what I'm going to talk today is it's only from the reference which I've taken from Ashtanga Hridaya. Okay, it's comprehensive, so you can go through it. Let's start now. Okay, so curd or dadhi in Sanskrit. Some people also call it yogurt. Some people say yogurt and curd are different. Okay, so let us stick to what we in India we call as curd or dadhi. It is rasa, or its taste is amla. These are points which you have to note. Okay, because normally the curd which people have are sweet curd. The moment it starts becoming sour, people don't take it. But according to Ashtanga Hridaya, it has to become sour. So what are the properties? It is guru and it is ushna. You know that it is a thickened, when you curdle the milk, it becomes thick, it becomes heavy, and also because fermentation is happening, lactobacillus acidophilus, it is acidic. Okay, it is ushna, it does not cool the body. You know, people feel curd is cooling. Curd is not cooling. Curd is ushna. Okay, and as far as its effect on the tridoshas go, okay, it pacifies vata and it increases kapha and pitta. More of kapha and little bit of pitta. Now, what all karma does? It increases the medas. Okay, that means your fat. It increases your fat. It will increase your strength. It will also increase your agni when taken in small quantities. Okay, agni, and it also promotes swelling. But if you consume too much of curd on a regular basis, you will start getting swelling in the body. That means you will swell. Okay. Now, what else? Indications. In conditions where you have got aruchi or tastelessness, shita jwara, that means you are feeling cold from inside. Okay, that means there isn't too much of indigestion, but they're slightly feeling cold. Dadhi works well. Okay, vishama jwara, that means you have got like something like typhoid or something like that, where fever is unpredictable. Vishama jwara. And then pinasa is running nose, and mutra kricha. Normally when people have got cold, running nose, they run away from curd, but that is the time when you can have curd in small quantities. Okay, mutra kricha is difficulty in passing urine. Okay, and you have got this curd and you have got cream on top. Once you remove the cream from the top, the cream removed curd is good for grihani roga, or how do I compare it? I can also compare it somewhere close to about IBS, okay, where you have got extreme gut issues. There you can give curd where the cream has been removed. Okay. Now the contraindications. Okay. After this, you can start asking your questions. So the contraindications are very clear. Rules say, never at night. Curd is not supposed to be taken at night at all. Never to be heated. Curd itself is ushna, so you are not supposed to heat it. Okay. Now you should never consume it as such. Okay. So when you're consuming it, you're supposed to have it with green gram or honey or ghee or sugar or amla. So you should never have it without either of these. Got it, right? Never, na nityam, never to be consumed on a regular basis. That means never to consume daily. Okay. And na amam, never improperly made. That means, just as I said in the beginning, once you make curd, from the state of milk, it slowly gets fermented and then it becomes thick curd, which is sour. Okay, if it has started from the stage of milk and not reached the state of curd, that is called amadadhi. Mandadadhi it is called. That means it is not very thick. It breaks pretty fast. That is not supposed to be consumed. So if you do all these things, if you take it at night, if you heat it, and if you have it all these things, then what will happen? You can fall sick with fever, okay, bleeding disorders, got it right? Skin issues, viscerba, dermatitis, okay. Kushta is other major skin issues, or even lead to anemia. Okay, so if you note that most of the things are kapha increasing things, there is always a chance of all your channels to be blocked. That's why we say curd is not supposed to be consumed on a regular basis. Okay, so you can start asking your questions. Let me slowly start answering questions. There have been a lot of questions, oh, which came long back. Okay, hello world. Doc, when you go outside India or when you are on your own, what do you usually cook for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Okay, there are two things. When I travel abroad, I either stay in a hotel, okay, where breakfast is served. That is one part of it. So I pick up whatever is there at the breakfast. Second thing is that otherwise I stay with a friend or somebody who has invited me. So next month I am in the US for a month. So I'm in four places in New York, in Seattle, in Phoenix, Arizona, and Los Angeles. All these four places I stay with my people who have invited me, my colleagues or my friends or my students. So I don't have a problem with food. Normally, I don't travel as a tourist. If I travel as a tourist, I stay in a hotel and I pick up from the breakfast table. Okay, hello world. Sometimes my father's one hand goes completely pale yellow while the other hand is fine. What type of ailment is this called? I'm not very sure. There might be some compression happening somewhere. Okay, so I think it is always good for you to go to some doctor and try to get the conduction test done and see if there is something compressing somewhere. Otherwise, I don't find any reason why one arm should suddenly become pale, and then there might be some compression happening somewhere. I think it needs to go through, your father needs to go through some lab investigation. Lots of people have to go to office and are living on their own. What should they cook in the morning to manage the lunch and also dinner? Please guide and advise. See, it depends upon what kind. I can't. I'm not in a position probably to answer that question. Okay, first thing, in the sense it depends upon region to region. Somebody who is from, I'm just giving an example. Okay, somebody is from Ethiopia. I don't know what to tell him what to eat. Okay, so somebody from even from Gujarat also, I would not tell him, but I'll ask him, what are you traditionally used to eating? Eat that. So you have to find time. Okay, there are no shortcuts there. You have to find time to cook yourself or find somebody who is supplying food around you. And see that you actually eat really well before going for work, at work, and even coming back after work. You have to make that arrangement. Either you're cooking it yourself or trying to get somebody who can cook food for you. Hi, Gary. Is it okay to have yogurt while eating lunch? See, yes, Gary, that is probably the only time where Ayurveda says that you can have yogurt. Never at night. I think you have gone through that, and never daily. Okay, so if at all you're having, it's always good for you to have it, because in those days you notice that they used to eat only twice. a brunch sort of thing at about 10:30, 11, and the dinner. So never a dinner. So there's only one time of the day where you could eat uh, curd, and that is always preferred when the sun is on top, so that your digestion is actually good. And that too, you are not supposed to have it in large quantities. So once in a while, I would say might be once or twice a week. It's all perfect, no problem at all, Gary. You can have it during your lunch. Can Pitta Vata Prakriti person eat curd on daily basis? If yes, how and when? There is Krishna. I've just explained that Nanityam. You are not supposed to take curd on a daily basis, but the curd which we consume nowadays, if you notice, it's again manda dadi. It is night. It is not. People don't prefer sour anymore. They have it only when it is still sweet, and they consider that as the best curd. But Ayurveda consider that is not dadi, because if you churn that curd, you will not get butter. The moment it starts becoming sour, when you churn it, you get butter. So I would say, because it pacifies vata and increases pitta and kapha. So a person who's got too much of pitta, I would not advise him to have curd on a regular basis. Okay, daily, out of the question. Okay. Yes, Shetty, namaste. How to identify vata bodies, pitta, and kapha. So this is a big subject. I have actually gone through that, Shetty. If you go through my videos, I think within the first 10 or 15 videos, I have clearly explained vata prakriti, pitta prakriti, and kapha prakriti. Okay, how to identify. It's all predominance. Okay, it's not that you have got absolute vata, absolute pitta, absolute kapha. It is by predominance. If you go through that video, one of these talks, you will be able to identify how to make out. Or if you go to YouTube, you can see a lot of people talking about it. But in my channel, if you go there, you can make out. Okay, Shetty, because it's not something which I can just explain in 2 minutes. Why shouldn't we have curd along with non-veg meals? We don't normally say that you're not supposed to have curd with non-veg meals, because if you look at Pathya Ahara, Jangala Mamsa, that means lean meat is something which you can consume on a regular basis. For non-vegetarian people, you can have lean meat on a regular basis. So that means daily. Okay. So when you are having lean meat daily and once in a while having curd, so there isn't a problem for you having non-veg. Then you might not mix that non-veg with the curd. Okay, so you had a non-veg piece, and after that you might mix a little bit of curd in your rice and have. That is not a problem. But if you start making that daily and doing that habitually, then it can cause problems. Otherwise, Kavita, don't worry, you can have it. Is it okay to have curd with meals which contains egg? You know, egg is something which is not very easy to digest. Curd is also not very easy to digest. But if you're somebody who is doing regular exercises and you've got decent appetite, then a little bit of egg, a little bit of curd, and all those things once in a while might not be a problem. But as I said, if you keep on doing that, or they are not directly viruddha. Okay, curd and eggs, but things both are heavy to digest, and if you keep on doing that on a regular basis, I'm pretty sure that you will end up with indigestion problem. So don't do it. But if you're somebody who does exercises regular, then you might find it easier to digest it. KBK, does having curd at night cause joint issues also? See, what happens with curd is, as I said, curd is not something which is very easy to digest. And when you have that at night and go to bed, there is always a chance of your channels getting blocked. So by taking curd, joint issues happen. It is not the typical pain which you get. It is more of inflammation and heaviness in the joint what you get when you have curd at night, because it increases the kapha, it blocks the channels, and the in our language, the kapha over there prevents the vata from movement. So stiffness, heaviness, and those are and inflammation are the most important, most common things which you see for people who consume curd regularly at night. Okay, curd is acidic, but would it be better to have with roasted cumin powder to make it less harmful? KBK, I don't think cumin powder roasted cumin powder will basically make your curd digest faster. That's all. If you're looking at digesting the food, okay, digesting the curd, then I would say probably adding dry ginger would also be a good option. But that's not the way we want to look at it. Okay, curd is Ushna and Guru at the same time. Those are two, if you look at it, normally something which is Guru or heavy is cold. Okay, and something which is hot is normally light. Here the combination of being Guru and Ushna is not a nice thing. That is the reason why it is blocking all the channels. Okay, just because you put a little bit of cumin on top of it will not make it less harmful. Okay, might be a little bit, but I don't think that is significant. I would say follow the rules and stay healthy. Santosh Kumar Shankaran Iyer. What kind of Prakriti person will be the best partner for Vata Pitta person? Okay, you mean Vata high, Vata 1, Pitta 2, Kapha 3, right? I think for you, the best person would be a Kapha Pitta person. Okay, straight question, straight answer. Okay, for a Vata Pitta person, a Kapha Pitta person would be the best partner. Partner in the sense, who will be able to balance that Vata Pitta out would be a Kapha Pitta person. Not even a Pitta Kapha, okay, it should be a Kapha Pitta. Buttermilk with rock salt and 2 pinches of Lavana Bhaskara Churna along with lunch is okay. See, buttermilk without rock salt or without Lavana Bhaskara and all those things also is okay. But the thing is that how you make that buttermilk is very important. Just by adding a little bit of water into curd doesn't make buttermilk. Adding water into curd is basically diluted curd. Okay, I'm telling about takra, which is mentioned in Ayurveda. Takra is basically you churn the curd, take the butter out. Once the butter is removed, that is possibly what I mean by buttermilk. Not just adding water into curd and making it the most popular so-called chas. Okay, that is just diluted curd. That's much better than curd, but that is not buttermilk. One second, where am I now? Can we drink buttermilk daily? Buttermilk is something which can be consumed on a regular basis, but I'm not very sure about you drinking it. Okay, and the buttermilk is what I mentioned just before. Buttermilk is not adding water, not just by adding water into curd, you cannot make buttermilk. It is just diluted uh, curd. Probably Hindi people call that chance, but that cannot be related to the Sanskrit word takra. Okay, takra is based churning the curd, dadhi, getting the navanita or butter out, and what remains is buttermilk. That is the one which is lego ushna and which gets into each and every srotas and helps you digest and good for grihani roga, even arsha roga, but not the diluted curd. Those don't have the medicinal properties of what I'm mentioning about takra. Is curd good to apply as a face mask? Yes, you can apply curd as a face mask. Absolutely no problem at all. Okay, it will help you cleanse your face. But if the curd is thick, then people with pimples might not be a good idea. But if you have got pigmentations, it actually works really well. Gary, I'm 77 in good health, but lately I have a lot of congestion in my throat, especially in the morning. Suggestions? Yeah, just see what you are having as far as food goes and how much physical activity you do. Okay, because if you have got congestion in the throat is basically kaphasthana. Okay, and in kaphasthana, when you have got kapha, and your age is vata, so that does not sit really well. So see what you are eating or drinking. Don't take anything cold at all. Okay, no sweets. Okay, and no deep fry for some time, and probably you I think something which can generate a little bit of heat in your system in the form of walking, okay, or drinking hot water, some dashamula kashaya or something which will actually generate a little bit of heat in your body, will remove that phlegm. Steam inhalation and all those things might actually help you. I would think, a little bit of change in your lifestyle, not getting exposed to cold air and all those things might actually help you prevent that phlegm getting accumulated in your throat. Here in the West, curd is mixed with honey. Curd is mixed with berries and sold in supermarket. Often, curd itself is made by adding bulking, emulsifying. Okay, Sanskriti yoga. Yeah, see, when you look, just when I took the class, you saw that never ever have curd without adding sugar, ghee, moong, honey, or amla. These five things, if you notice, these five things have been asked by the acharya to consume. That these are pathya to be consumed on a regular basis. Five things, and curd is something which is apatya, not to be consumed on a regular basis. So when you are taking something which is not so good, so if you add something which have been mentioned to be good and can be consumed on a daily basis, then probably the negative effect of this is slightly reduced. That's the reason why it says you can add ghee or honey or moong or amla or sugar when you're taking curd. Okay, so that I know, your emulsifying agents, and they also add preservatives so that it doesn't become sour. Okay, those things are not very good. I would say make your own curd at home and have it to stay healthy. I find it difficult to churn buttermilk from curd. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people tell me that. If you go through my Instagram channel, I don't know whether you're following me on Instagram. During the COVID time, I had my home helper, boil milk, curdle it, churn the curd, and take butter out of it. So we have shown how to basically do it. It is not a very difficult process. You have to have the patience. How you boil the milk is also very important. So you notice, you leave the milk in sim for some time, so it becomes slightly on the thicker side, and you have to wait for that curd to become sour, Sanskriti. Otherwise, you will find it very difficult to extract butter out of it. That's why the Dhi, Ushnam, and Amlam has been told. Okay, you have to churn it really well. Does buttermilk give relief in constipation? Not really well, because buttermilk is grahi. It actually holds your food. In the sense, there's a reason why it is prescribed really well for the grahani roga, where people pass motions immediately after food. Okay, so but it helps promote agni, your digestion. It helps you improve your digestion and your appetite, but it is not something which is a laxative. So it will not help you relieve constipation, even though it doesn't hold your bowels too much. It helps you retain the food so that it gets digested really well. It is thin so that it can pass through every channel. Okay, it is ushna, it is hot in nature, it is not cold. Okay, so it is considered to be very good as food. Okay, please do have it. According to Ayurveda, allergic foods, there are nothing like allergic foods. Allergic foods depend from person to person. Some people are allergic to banana, some people are allergic to milk, some people are allergic to chocolate, some people are allergic to a lot of things. Ayurveda doesn't give something like allergic. Hope you're able to understand that. Okay, that's the reason why things are all individualistic here. So for some people, we tell them, when they tell them to take cow milk, they say, I cannot digest cow's milk. But those people are able to digest goat's milk, which is good enough. Okay, so It depends from person to person. So we can't brand and say these things are all allergens. No, we can't do that. Um, Thank you, KBK. Curd consumption and buttermilk consumption increases the kapha in the body even if it had during the daytime. Curd consumption will definitely increase kapha, while buttermilk or takra will not increase kapha because it pacifies. Okay, it is more. It does a little bit of vata anuloma and it increases the pitta a little bit more. So it is also ushna and it is lagu. It is not godu. It does not increase the kapha too much. But you know, we sometimes feel that because of taking that buttermilk, we are increasing kapha. No, it could be because of your sedentary lifestyle also on or other things which are having, might be fruits here, might be sweets here, might be deep fry here, and we think that it could be because of the buttermilk. I don't think so. So if you're somebody who is very active and who consumes a balanced food, then you might not have a problem, KBK. Okay, Santosh Kumar. Milk can be taken regularly at night, sir, for Vata person suffering from spondylitis. I think so. Yes, Santosh Kumar. Okay. Spondylitis is something where there's an inflammation of this, the cervical area or anywhere, any of the cervical or lumbar spondylitis, anywhere in the spine. So if there is too much of inflammation, then milk might not be a good choice. Okay. But otherwise, milk is a very good choice for somebody with vata diseases to when they're going to bed. It will not increase your sleep, but if you're somebody who sleeps decently well, consuming that milk will help you stay sleeping. Okay. But if you're somebody who is not able to sleep, then cow's milk is not the choice. Buffalo's milk is the choice. Making curd low fat milk and making that watery, would that count as buttermilk? I have tried to churn and make takra from yogurt. In many ways, it does not separate the butter. See, low fat milk might be the problem here, Sanskriti. Okay, you get whole fat milk. Okay, boil it really well. Okay, leave it on low flame for some time and keep on steering it. Don't leave it like that. So if you just leave it like that, you'll see a lot of cream on top. I don't want the cream to get formed. Once the cream is formed, most of the butter part is gone in the cream. Okay, so it is always good for you to keep on steering the milk and slightly thicken it. Wait it to cool, curdle it. It becomes very thick and then slowly starts getting sour. Then you churn it. You will start getting butter out of it. Okay. Low fat milk, churning it and then adding water into it. 50-50 buttermilk. It might not be the right kind of takra. Trying to make it to some churner contraptions. Been trying for a couple of years. Good. All the best. Please do keep us posted. Okay. Please suggest home remedy for Ayurveda medicine to get relief from periods pain. Oh, Krishna, I think if you really have got period pains, there could be multiple reasons to it. Okay, it could be your food, it could be your lifestyle, it could be your stress. It could also be other problems like PCOS. It could be endometrial. A lot of issues can lead to periods pain. Okay, so I would say it's always good for you to consult a good doctor and see what best can be done. But for pain, okay, one good thing, one easy thing which you can do at home, hing is something which is an amazing pain reliever, especially when you have got cramps, okay, in the tummy. So hing powder with jeera powder, if you can have it mixed with warm water and have it multiple times, you'll notice that the pain due to cramps actually go down. Okay, but I would still say it's good for you to consult a doctor. I'm trying to find out that video in your list. I can't find it. Is it available? Which Priya? Which video? I'm not very sure. Is it the uh, churning of curd and making butter? It is there. So it could be sometime late 2020 or early 2021. Okay, it's there. My little grandson, 1 year old, loves curd. Is it okay to give him a little in the afternoon once in a while, mix it with honey, or is it too? See, he loves curd. Yes, I do understand, and especially the ones which are sweet, as you said, which comes from the market, which you can cut and take. It's fascinating for the kids. It's just like ice cream for them. Okay, they would definitely like it, but I would say the kid from the age of 0 to 10, 12 is in the kapha stage and has got very high chance of getting cough, cold, breathing issues, allergies, and all those things. I think you know that fever, and that's when once they come of age, then they get much better. So, in my opinion, I would not prefer you giving your grandchild curd on a daily basis in the afternoon. It's all cumulative, might be, and then if you're especially from the west, you might be living in an air conditioned uh, environment also, and then I don't know how active the kid is. All these factors have to be taken into consideration. I would say buttermilk would be the best option. These days, the cow milk we get is so light that the buttermilk we make from the curd we make at home hardly has any fat or butter. So how do we make takra? See, probably you might be referring to the milk which you get in the packet, low fat milk, but you also get milk which is high fat or full fat. Okay, try getting those and try making the curd and then churning it. And but as I was telling you, you have to wait. You have don't think that you will when you churn curd just because it is thick. It has to slowly start becoming sour. If it doesn't become sour, you might not be able to get the desired butter out of it. Okay, that means the process has to get completed. If it is sweet, that means it is left milk and it is not reached the stage of curd. Okay, KBK, try it out. Okay, it does work. Can we add rock sugar and balance the hot nature of curd? No. Just because you add rock sugar doesn't make the sugar cold. Okay, the sorry, it doesn't make the curd cold at all. See, other properties of abhishanti means it is so thick and it is so gooey that it will go and block all the channels. So when you consume it, that's the reason why Acharya is told. Otherwise, Acharya is easily told, right? Mix it with rock salt and have it every day. Why did he specifically say not to have regularly, and why did he say specifically not to have it at night? There's a reason, right? So I'm telling you that whatever you try to do with it, you know, you can't change the property of a curd. Little it will become slightly better, but you can't rebalance the bad effect of curd. Does Ayurveda allow the storage the curd in the fridge? See, normally what you see is milk in those days. Now, see, fridge was not there in Ayurveda. Okay, storage is out of the question. Anything prepared storage was out of the question in those days. Cook, finish it off, done. But buttermilk and all, they used to keep it for the next day. So don't get confused about it. So you are milking the cow every day. You are cuddling it every day. You are churning it every day. You are getting buttermilk every day. The butter is being stored. Okay, so butter is basically put in water and stored. So after about 4 or 5 days, when you have got enough butter, you heat it and melt it, and then you get ghee out of it. So when you look from the Ayurvedic point of view, you are supposed to consume fresh food. Okay, but buttermilk is fine. Buttermilk is not something which gets spoiled. Ghee doesn't get spoiled. Okay, honey doesn't get spoiled. Oil doesn't get spoiled. Likewise, buttermilk also doesn't get spoiled. So you can use that for the next day. That's not a problem, but not the other things. Okay. Is it okay to have milk and ghee at bedtime for Vata Pitta Prakriti in monsoon? It's perfect. Absolutely no problem, Krishna. Okay. because if you look at ghee and milk, they have got almost the same properties. Okay, both are vata and pitta pacifying, and both of them increase kapha. So you can take probably a teaspoon of ghee, add it into about 60 ml or maybe 100 ml of hot milk, mix it, drink at bedtime, and have a good night's sleep. It is really good for you, no problem. Sure. Okay, it's there. Grapes and raisins are heavily laden with pesticides. How to remove the pesticide before consuming? I think the best thing for you to do is to wash it really well, and probably you know we leave it in water for such a long time. We actually put a little of salt also into it, and then we rub it really well before we use it for medicines. Okay, and we check the water, the amount, in the sense whether it is releasing or something, pesticides. So when we get grapes into a factory for making medicines, we check for the presence of pesticides. Okay, there is a upper limit to it. So the grapes which, and normally as medicines, what we use is we don't use fresh grapes. We use only raisins. Okay, so salt water is something which will help a lot of raisins go, but at the end of the day, washing it really well is more important. The most natural laxative is warm water. Okay, if you take warm water, creating pressure is the most important thing. So if you take warm water and the pressure is created, then you'll pass motions. Okay, so warm water, in my opinion, would be the most natural laxative. Ghee is actually good if you take for a long term on a regular basis. The gut starts becoming lubricated, and you will not have problem passing motions. Welcome, Shetty. What's the difference between triphala and just triphala? What is good for cold? Cold in the sense the cold weather, or you running a cold. Okay. Say triphala 1:2:4. It depends again here. Kamalnath. Which is 1, which is 2, which is 4. Okay, so that is extremely complicated. I'm telling you. Okay, 1:2:4, 1:1:2. Okay, 1:4:1, 1:4:2. All those things are very very complicated. Let's not go there at all. Okay, normal tripla which you get in the market is 1:1:1. Okay, so if taken on a regular basis at bedtime, it is actually very good for the eyes, and it will keep your what do you call, the bowel movements really good. And once your bowel movements are good and your pitta goes down, it will it will not, it is not something which will generate a lot of heat in the body, because if you have got too much of haritaki, okay, then it starts becoming ushna. But amlaki is something which is anushna. Okay, so it balances the heat. So it's not something which cools the body too much. It does not generate too much of heat also. So 1:1:1 is basically balances the tridoshas a little bit. So once your Agni is taken care of, because you pass motions really well and you feel hungry the next day, and you are somebody who actually sleeps really well, eats food on time, good food, and does regular exercises, then Triphala works really well. Otherwise, after a point of time, you'll start noticing that even in spite of taking Triphala, you're still constipated. Okay, so if you take that on a regular basis for long term, there's a very high chance that you might get used to it and you might not pass motions after that. When you'll be trying to the next one, will you be continuing with these live sessions? That's a good question. I am not very sure about that. I have to work out the timings, because when it is 9 o'clock here, 9 p.m., I'm in the New York, so it's going to be 11:30 a.m. in the morning, which might not be very conducive for me because I'll be in seminars and conferences there. So I'll have to think about that. I'll probably come out with a notice. I'm traveling on the 17th of September and back only by the 17th of October. So almost a month I'm not there. So we'll see. Okay. But I feel, time zone wise might not be very, very, very easy for me to manage that. Let's see. Don't worry. Anyway, I'll come back and then we can restart. That's not a problem. Is ghee not responsible for calcification of nadis? Uh, you have used two words, calcification and nadis. Okay, calcification is basically hardening. Okay, which is not a property of ghee. Okay, so I don't think ghee will lead to calcification of nadis. It is something which is lubricating and softening. Okay, but as you notice that if you take too much of ghee and you sit sedentary, you might probably start developing a little bit of cholesterol. And with other things in your food, then you might calcify and start forming plaques. But by and large, you might have a little bit of cholesterol increase if you take too much of ghee, if you are not somebody who does any exercise at all. Okay, but I would say have food, do exercises, and stay healthy. Your calcification of nadis will not happen. The ratio was in the label. I was referring to catching cold. Okay, so 1:4, 2:4 might be Amlaki, Haritaki, and Vibhitaki then, if it was meant for cold, because Vibhitaki is something which is very good for upper respiratory infections or issues. So if Vibhitaki is more in that, then it will be good for upper respiratory conditions. Because I can't comment until unless I also see the label, right, Kamalnath? But if 4 is Vibhitaki, okay, more of Vibhitaki, then it will be good for your respiratory issues. Is it okay to have curd daily if one has become satmaya to it? This is actually a good question. Satmaya is getting used to it. This only time will say, Kavita. Okay, sometimes, where Acharya has mentioned a lot of things, Satmaya and other things, but just like curd, there aren't many things which have been restricted. So there should be some reason why he would have told, that no. If it is Satmaya, he would have told, okay, Satmaya people can have. But I would say, things are cumulative sometimes. So over a period of time, it might lead to problem. I cannot guarantee that, but I truly believe that we're looking at the properties of curd. I would say I don't consume it on a regular basis, and I don't ask my patients who want to be healthy also to consume on a regular basis and tell them because of all these reasons. And if you say that you are used to it and then you cannot be without it, then I would say okay, have it. But these are the contraindications. What Ayurveda says. Okay. Uh, Priya, marinate chicken in curd is not something which Ayurveda would be very happy with listening to this. Okay. Uh, how will it impact digestion is something which, see, if you look at most of the smoothies which are coming out in the market, how is that going to impact digestion? It's a good question. You put berries, you put everything inside, and then you beat it with curd and have it and say it's healthy. But that if you consume it on a daily basis, okay, cumulatively that may lead to problem. Now coming to your first part, marinate chicken in curd. How frequently are you going to have it? That's my first question. You say, might be once a month or once in 3 months. I say, go ahead and have it. Don't be too bothered about it, okay? Because even Viruddhahara is not something which will just happen like that. Viruddhahara happens only when you keep on doing that consistently for a period of time. So once in a while, once in a blue moon, you're marinating chicken with curd and then having it. I said, don't think too much. Have it in moderation. Do regular exercises. Forget it. Okay, don't feel guilty about it. Ready-made set curd of good brand is okay, or curd should be made at home only. You have got, it's like asking which is the best food, whether home cooked food is good or having food from a branded 5-star hotel. It's your choice. You know that anything which is marketed has to have something in it so that it becomes attractive and you feel like buying it, or it has to increase its shelf life. So anything that is branded might be the biggest brand. If it is food, then it has to have some form of something that makes it, that gives you that form. Okay, you take any brand of curd, making at home is definitely the best. Is egg white tridoshik? No idea. Absolutely no idea, but I know for sure that it is not something which is very easy to digest. It will increase kapha a little bit more, and it also increases your muscle, that is again kapha. Okay, and I don't know whether it increases your pitta or your vata. It is not over a period. If you eat too much, then it is not good for health. Okay, yeah, thank you, Kamalnath. My grandfather used to have make ghee first. Does it have any other? Yes, 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 yes. So normally, when we start our food, we say have all the six tastes: Madhura, Amla, Lavana, Tikta, Katu, Kashaya. Okay. So rice is sweet, and when you add ghee and dal into it for the first time when you mix and eat, that is sweet, and that is the way you have to normally. That's the way people have food. Okay. So your grandfather, in my opinion, is following the right principles. Okay. Yeah, have a wonderful trip. It is in this. It is in the 17th of September. I've got one more month to go. Okay, KBK, no problem. Okay, and if there are people in the US who want to consult me or meet me, most welcome. Okay, you can share them my details, also my travel trip. Okay, it is there on Instagram. I can again post it once more so that you can see those. Okay. Why milk breaks after some time if not boiled after milking from the cow? It is the lactose and the protein that is breaking. Okay, that means the atmospheric yeast is acting on it, bacteria is acting on it, and it is spoiling the milk. They are eating it and they are spoiling it. Okay, thank you so much for answering also with so much patience. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Krishna. It's all His grace, you know. Since childhood, grandfather taught us a lot of things. We just follow this. Methi, is it okay to consider we're adding to khichdi? Methi is something which is slightly on the hotter side. Okay, so adding to khichdi, traditional khichdi, I don't know whether you add fenugreek into it. Normally, if from South India, we call that pongal. Okay, they add a little bit of jeera and a few black peppers into it. Okay, up north, if you add fenugreek as a tradition, then fine. But I would not say that you have to overdo it. Okay, because fenugreek is too ushna. Oh yeah, sure, sure. If they can meet me, I'll take care of them. No problem. We have cold weather conditions most year, though. So I think it's always good for you to stay warm and have foods which will generate a little bit of heat in the body. You're drinking water, you have to see whether it suits you or not. Your drinking water could be uh, dry ginger water, boiling half a spoon of dry ginger to a liter of water. That will actually generate a little bit of heat in the body, and it is also, it helps you pass motions also really well. Dry ginger is not something which is constipating. Okay, so see that you cover yourself, stay warm. Very important, because you might be somebody from this part of the world who is living in a place which is very cold, which is alien to you. You know, so the if you look at a couple of things, the food which you eat, okay, at least okay, the place where you live is not conducive. So at least be okay with the food which you eat. Don't, you might, by eating the foods which you get over there, you know, so you are deviating from the food and from the land of which you are used to. So I think stick to the food and try to stay strong. If you carry milk, Other cities don't. Dosha victims have to break or spoil milk in order to help prevent. If we carry milk to other cities, does any dosha affect? I did not answer. I did not understand your question, Shashikar. Mm, see, milk will definitely get spoiled, if by time, and I don't know by adding cooking soda whether you'll be able to prevent the milk from getting spoiled. Okay. Oh, sure, Priya. Okay, Viruddhahara. Viruddhahara, probably we can go through Viruddhahara once. Probably next week we can have Viruddhahara, according to Charaka. Okay. Okay, then. So, does nasal dilators work for a person with nasal? No. It will say if you have got a nasal septum deviation, okay, deviated nasal septum, and if it is very severe, that it is blocking airways, then it is always good for you to rectify and get it straight. Okay, you don't have a shortcut there. And other, nasal dilators and all things will temporarily help you, but for a permanent solution, you have to get it rectified. The channel has to be clear. Deviated nasal septum, if the deviation is too high, then the permanent cure is surgery. Shashikar, you have to get it done. Shastra Kriya, Ayurveda also mentions the same thing, That means if what happens otherwise, you'll start getting polyps and, the things start getting inflamed and then your air just start getting, you start pumping it. It doesn't work for long. So if there is a physical structural problem, I want you to rectify it. Okay. Okay, then. Good night. See you next week. Another topic. So might be on Viruddha. We'll start talking on that. Okay. Okay, then. Good night. Namaste.